A Heart to Love started with a surprise birthday party organized by Daniel for Samantha. Daniel was seen nervously waiting for her to come in, but her friend Audrey came in instead. Daniel was surprised to see Audrey when he was expecting Samantha. Audrey broke the bad news to Daniel when he asked of Samantha's whereabouts, and Audrey stated that Samantha sent her apologies because she wouldn't be coming. Daniel was not happy and he asked if he should shift the party, but his friend Leo thought he was crazy because birthdays cannot be shifted. It was getting awkward at this point because of all the invited guests, but regardless, Daniel instructed everything to be packaged and sent to Samantha since she couldn't make it. Samantha got home in a very high spirit, singing and sharing with Audrey about how she had a blast with the rich guy she met while she was out celebrating her birthday. When Audrey revealed Daniel actually organized a birthday party in her honor, Samantha totally ignored what she said and she just continued to blab about how much fun she had. Daniel can be seen diligently working before he decided to call Samantha at some point. He called and Samantha seemed to be in a kind of distressed situation, but Daniel, her prince in shining armor, abandoned everything he was doing to go see her. He got to Samantha's and met Audrey on his way in. He told her of the situation and they both went in to see Samantha. Samantha was weeping uncontrollably about being dumped by Soji, her boyfriend, and her friend Audrey did her best in consoling her. Daniel tried serving her food as a way of comforting her, but she rudely asked him to leave because he was annoying. Leo could not understand how dumb his friend Daniel had gotten to have gone to see Samantha after she ignored the birthday party he spent so much money to organize for her without her even apologizing. He further lamented on how Daniel's business was dying because he was spending on a girl that doesn't even love him. Daniel simply said he wasn't ready for his bickering and all that matters was that he loved Samantha and would do anything for her regardless of how it was affecting his life or business. Daniel even forgot to make his friend's clothes for obvious reason. Daniel went to visit Samantha with a gift of fresh seafood. Samantha, with a look of disgust, arrogantly asked him if he wanted her to slave away preparing it herself, and she further instructed him to be coming to her house to prepare the seafood till it finishes. Daniel's face brightened up like a child that had been handed a bar of chocolates, and he happily agreed to Samantha's demand. Daniel got cooking immediately with the help of an online cooking tutorial. As expected, Samantha barely ate from the food before she spit it out and asked if his intention was to poison her. In passing, Samantha referred to herself as his girlfriend and this made Daniel's day. He joyfully grabbed her and thanked her for finally accepting him as her man. He even went back to make a toast with his friend Leo for his big win. Leo went berserk when he found out the girl they were celebrating was none other than Samantha. He asked why Daniel was settling for a girl that obviously doesn't love him, but as usual, Daniel gave his flimsy reasons. Leo simply left. He was fed up at this point. Audrey happily welcomed her boyfriend, but her happiness soon turned sour when he asked that they break up because he was no longer in love with her, but in love with someone else. Audrey tried reasoning with him not to leave her, but he was done with their relationship. And worst of all, he was about to marry the other woman. Audrey fainted at this point, and Daniel was called. Daniel quickly left his work, ignoring his friend Leo, who came to pick up his clothes. Audrey was so heartbroken on how she was dumped after 5 long years. Samantha stayed by her side and comforted her. Samantha got to her room and met Daniel sleeping in her bed. She quickly woke him up and asked why he was sleeping instead of helping her comfort Audrey. She transferred the aggression of what had happened to her friend Audrey to Daniel. Samantha referred to him as a poor man who would cheat, not minding how poor he was. When she was done condescending Daniel, who seemed not to care, she promptly asked him to leave her house because she was not ready to share her bed with him even if it was past midnight. Daniel asked for a kiss at least before going, but Samantha literally dragged him out of her room. So it got really interesting when Audrey, Samantha, and Daniel went to confront Audrey's boyfriend during his marriage introduction to another woman. Daniel was beaten black and blue by the 3 bouncers and he got no sympathy from Samantha. He rather got scolded for not being man enough to fight off 3 bouncers at once. Audrey, on the other hand, administered first aid and apologized for all that had happened and blamed herself for putting him through such pain. Next, Daniel asked Samantha to spend the weekend with him, but Samantha hit him below the belt. She stated she understood she was dating a guy way below her league, but he shouldn't rub it in by taking her to his rodent-infested house or driving her in his outdated car. Daniel promised to change his car, and he did, even though he obviously couldn't afford it. He used the new car to go pick up Samantha at her office. She was not only unimpressed, but also made sure none of her co-workers saw him. Audrey was shocked Daniel changed his car just to impress Samantha, and she stated Daniel was a good man that deserved to be cherished. But Samantha made it clear she wasn't impressed a single bit because she had seen better. Daniel surprised Samantha with his new apartment he rented because of her, but as expected, she quarreled with him for not buying the house like rich men do and said several unkind things to him. Leo was mad at Daniel for taking a loan of 10 million naira from a loan shark in order to buy a car and rent a house just to impress a woman that doesn't love him. Leo further asked him why he was being a simpleton and also how he intended to pay back the loan, obviously not with his business that was at the verge of death. Daniel insisted he wasn't being used by Samantha and everything was under control. Audrey's pain was far from over when she didn't lose just her relationship, she also lost her job. Since Audrey was jobless, Samantha gave Daniel a week to look for a job for her friend so she might consider spending the night at his place. Daniel knew nothing about scouting for a job, but he agreed anyway. After an unsuccessful attempt, Daniel got the idea from Leo, his friend, to employ Audrey into his fashion house. He told Samantha about his intentions of employing Audrey as his manager, and Samantha had a good laugh before raining condescending words on both him and his business. To Samantha's surprise, Audrey accepted to work with him since he was going to be paying her well. Audrey started working with Daniel and she was so diligent that it got Samantha so upset. Leo thought Audrey was different because she took Daniel's business to the whole next level by rapidly growing the business and giving ideas that will increase productivity. Samantha was dressed up to go for work on a Saturday and Daniel asked to drop her off, which he agreed. But once he went in to bring his car key, she simply left without him. Samantha happily tells Audrey of the date she went on with her new boss and how she even got romantic with him and could barely control herself. Audrey scolded her for doing things with another man when she was in a relationship with Daniel. Samantha simply called Audrey a killjoy before excusing herself. While Audrey was at work, she got a call from the loan shark who threatened to hurt Daniel if he didn't pay back the money he was owing. Audrey also found out that the reason Daniel had been avoiding work was because of the loan shark. Daniel explained everything to her on how he borrowed 10 million naira to upgrade his life. Sadly, Daniel's shop got vandalized and it deeply worried Audrey. But Samantha was totally unaffected and she even advised Audrey not to bother herself. Audrey quickly rushed down to Daniel's house to console him and she even offered to loan him part of the money he was owing before heading to the kitchen to prepare food for him. In the heat of the moment, Samantha casually broke up with Daniel because she didn't want to keep settling for less. Daniel was totally heartbroken. He begged and kept trying his best to get back with Samantha, but she was done with him and she treated him no less than an object.
What are you doing here?
I've been waiting for you.
Unbelievable. If I'd known that it would be so difficult to break up with you, I wouldn't have said yes to you in the first place.
I'm sorry. Look, what have I have done? Please, I'm sorry.
Can you just leave my house?
Forgive me, please.
Leave.
Wait.
Stand up, leave my house.
Samantha.
Stand up, leave.
Let's do this.
Please, just hear him out. Why did you let him into this house? Didn't I tell you that we're done?
This house is equally mine. So I can let him in if I want to. Besides, he's my boss.
Fine! No problem. But stay far away from me. Don't come an inch close to me. Rubbish.
Audrey advised Daniel to dust himself up and get back on his feet because he had a lot to do, and Dan took her advice. Daniel finally got over Samantha after several failed attempts to get back with her, and he thanked Audrey for being of great help and for her unwavering support. Daniel and Audrey started getting unusually close when they started spending more time together and discussing their life experiences, both the good and the ugly. Audrey found out the reason Daniel held on to Samantha in an unhealthy way was because he was abandoned by his mother as a child. Things started going so well for Daniel. He got a contract worth millions through the help of Audrey. Daniel was so grateful he tightly hugged Audrey and thanked her for all she had done. Samantha enthusiastically announced to her friend that she was going on a vacation with her new boyfriend, and Audrey wished her good luck. Leo was happy his friend was finally back on his feet and was more grateful Audrey was the propelling force behind his success. Leo also advised Daniel to go for Audrey because she was something special. Daniel started instigating conversations that do not relate to work, to create a conducive environment for him to be able to ask Audrey out. As he was doing this, Audrey had already fallen for him and she fantasized every moment spent with him. Daniel arranged a very romantic birthday surprise for Audrey and she loved it. Daniel was about to kiss her, but it was immediately interrupted by Samantha's distress call. Audrey quickly excused herself to go attend to Samantha. Samantha was visibly in pain as streams of tears rolled down her eyes. She recounted how she was attacked, severely beaten, and humiliated by the wife of her boyfriend. Samantha didn't know her boyfriend was married with 4 kids. Audrey comforted her. While Audrey was at work with Daniel, Samantha suddenly came in and she was all over Daniel. She kissed and told him how much she had missed him before dragging him out to go have lunch together like nothing happened. Leo couldn't believe Daniel accepted Samantha into his life after all she had done to him simply because she apologized to him. Daniel simply stated he had forgiven her and nobody was perfect. Samantha decided she wanted to marry Daniel and she asked him to propose to her in front of her colleagues. Before then, Daniel had a deep thought about his experience with both Samantha and Audrey, and he knew exactly who he wanted to spend the rest of his life with. While Samantha was waiting for Daniel to come engage her at work, she got a text stating she had been dumped, and Daniel instead went to his workplace and asked Audrey to marry him, which she gladly accepted. The end. Moral lesson: it might not be what you want, but it definitely is what you need. Love conquers all. I know you enjoyed this movie recap. Do well to subscribe and turn on your notification bell so you can be the first to get a notification the next time we post. Thanks for watching.